Welcome back, everybody, to some more Grand Tactician, the Civil War, and we do have the latest update. The patch has been applied, and we are ready to dive into another episode. No patron units to add for you today, so we're just going to pick up right where we left off, which is that we are trying to finish off the Union here in Missouri and get Missouri to secede, and that'll happen just as soon as we can drive the two Union armies from the state. We're going to continue to kind of establish our foothold in Kentucky, and we'll hold everywhere else, and we'll kind of see where that puts us. All right, so the Army of the Mississippi and the Army of the Ohio and the Army of the Southwest are all going to be here just across the river in Illinois. That's a pretty substantial force. That's 30,000 plus the Army of the Southwest. That's about 37,000 men. But as soon as we can get that Army of the Southwest across the Mississippi River, we should have Missouri. Let's see if it happens right away. I just want to kind of sit here and watch and see if it happens as soon as they cross the river, because I don't think there are any other Union forces in Missouri. And at least according to this, that should be enough to make that happen. Capture St. Louis and defeat all the Union armies in Missouri to make Missouri secede and join the Confederacy, and that'll be a hit of -5 to the Union morale when that happens. Get across, boys. Get across. Oh, he's going to sit there, is he? No, he's still going. We're going to go ahead and move the Army of the West up just a little bit because I want to take these. There it is. Missouri secedes. New state in the Confederacy. Now, some of you asked, I want to grab this armory and these factories. Some of you asked about whether or not that affects the ability to recruit from those states. It doesn't really, because the recruitment level is based on support in that state and not on whether the state has joined the Confederacy. You know, so the Kentucky never joined the Confederacy formally, but they had a lot of units that fought for the Confederacy. Tennessee was in the Confederacy, but had Union units. So it's really more about this support level right here. And that determines how many men you have. So right now we don't have any. Actually, North Carolina's got enough units that I could create a new brigade if I want to. We've actually got enough in West Virginia as well if we wanted to create something. Another thing you'll notice now, and I believe this is either with the latest patch or the patch before it, is that troops don't move at night. So my 3rd Corps, for example, stopped moving when it got to nighttime, and you'll see this again in just a minute. You'll see they'll stop. See, they completely stopped, and then when we get to like 5, 6 in the morning, you'll see they'll start moving again. There we go. All right, we have an option here, and this happens when you take additional territory sometimes, to construct a railroad through the Cumberland Gap. So you have to control the knots that are occupied. So I guess what we're talking about in this case is we need to be able to actually control places like London and then up to Lexington, and then down here into eastern Kentucky. So with that in mind, or eastern Tennessee, we can construct this railroad. It's going to increase trade flow, supply, and unit transport speed. So let's go ahead and make that happen. We'll see how long that takes. I would expect it'll take a little bit of time. All right, we're going to go ahead and start moving Jackson's Corps up, and then Jackson and Longstreet together. We're going to go ahead and see if we can push up into Pennsylvania with a simultaneous movement by the Army of Tennessee toward Pittsburgh. So once Jackson, actually I think we'll wait. Once Jackson arrives in Winchester, we'll send those 2 corps of the Army of Northern Virginia. We'll leave Magruder with the Army of the Peninsula down here just to screen against any movement on Richmond. And we're going to try to drag the Army of the Potomac up into Pennsylvania somewhere and see if we can get ourselves a battle around Gettysburg. All right, looks like he's sending his Army of the Mississippi over toward my Army of Mississippi. Gets a little confusing, I know. My Army of Mississippi actually doesn't have any troops with it. That's just the headquarters. So we're going to start sending the 3rd Corps that way, but it's going to take some time for them to get there. How many men does he have in that unit? I think one of my corps ought to be enough to be able to take on that whole army. Meanwhile, Jackson's Corps is about to arrive in Winchester, so it's really just a question of which combat is going to happen first. Looks like he's sending another army this way. I don't know how many men are in this 27th Army, only about 5,500. So we've got simultaneous movements happening in 3 different places. We could have a fight around Louisville, Kentucky. We might have another fight around St. Louis. Or we might have a fight somewhere in Maryland or Pennsylvania. So let's go ahead and get Jackson's corps moving north. What's this around? I don't know, Chambersburg. Hollidaysburg. Okay. Chambersburg's probably a little further east of that. There's some iron mines up there. So we'll get Jackson's corps moving. We'll get Longstreet's corps moving. I'm a little bit nervous that he might try to move and cut off Winchester if I go north. But we'll take that chance. All right. Looks like it's going to be the fight over here in Kentucky. Army of Mississippi in contact with the Army of the Mississippi. We do have our 3rd Corps on the way, so there really aren't going to be any troops there at first. It's just going to be our headquarters waiting for the rest of the troops to arrive. All right, so we've got 16 hours before our 3rd Corps arrives, which means basically there's nobody on the battlefield, at least for now. I mean, just my headquarters, and that's it. Because I haven't actually attached any men to Albert Sidney Johnston. Incidentally, cool fact about Albert Sidney Johnston. When 1861 began, I was actually reading a book yesterday that every year or two, the United States Army did a publication where they published all of the officers in the Army and where they were currently serving in command. And I was reading over the publication. I think it was the 2nd Cavalry. I could be wrong, but it was a cavalry unit. Albert Sidney Johnston was the colonel of the 2nd Cavalry, and his lieutenant colonel was Robert E. Lee. And there were some other men as well who were in that same unit. All right, we're into day 2, Battle of Hartford, and it's telling me, I mean, it showed Breckinridge arriving. I guess the generals are arriving ahead of their troops. Here they come. They're starting to arrive on the battlefield now, 5 o'clock in the morning. Looks like we're going to get into action pretty quick because I think the Union is somewhere here right near Perryville on the map. So once our troops start to arrive, we'll just get into a battle line right here until we get everything organized. Hopefully he doesn't hit me before everybody arrives on the field. All right, so this is our first chance to see this new feature where you can actually control where your commanders go. So if I want Albert Sidney Johnston to come right here, I just hold down the Alt button and give him that order, and he will go right there. And the same is true with any of my commanders. Say D.H. Hill's right here, and I want to get him in a place where he's somewhere between the 2 units that he commands. I can just move him over and just tell him to do that. That's new in the latest patch. All right, so Nathan Bedford Forrest is moving up here so we can get a glimpse of where the Union is, and we can see he's crossing right there. So we're going to try to get my troops into position. I like this position except for the woods. I like where the other units are. So maybe move Walthall up a little bit and over this way. No, not just, oh, I held down Alt, so it moved him and not, I meant to hold down Shift. Let's get him right there. All right, I don't know if they're coming this way or if they're just building a battle line for defense right there. We have almost identical numbers on the field. I've got 19,082. He's got 19,000. Here's something else that's new. You can now see the HQs a little easier with these HQ buttons. Symbols, I should say. So you know where your headquarters are. That's where your generals are for the various units. That makes it a little easier to identify in the battlefield, so that's cool. Right now, I've got Forrest out front because he appears to have pulled all the way back, and I don't know where he's going right now, but I guess we're going to have to pursue the Yankees. Okay, I think I spotted him, at least part of him. We've got some units coming down right here, so let's go ahead and start moving into position to engage. I'm going to shift Walthall over this way. Looks like we've got some difficult ground there. I'm going to bring Forrest around just to see if we can spot the rest of his force. And we'll bring the entire artillery. Oh, we're going to run out of daylight. We got a good spot for the artillery up here, though. If we move our units down just below the top of that hill. All right. We're coming under fire from his artillery already. Long range, boys. Long range. Wheat's Tigers. Rock City Guards. Coming in next to them are the French Zouaves. And the 1st Montero Rifles. It looks like he's pulling back across the creek now. I'm going to keep Forrest back there, and we're moving Wright's division up here. Actually, I want to get them in a little bit further over. That's the Lone Star Brigade there. Let's move them over that way. And here's the other brigade in that division. Bowen's brigade. We're going to get him in on this side. Use that fence for cover. Alright, we got to get our artillery into position and firing. Looks like they are firing. I want to give them some order for counter battery fire. Even though those are 12-pounder Napoleons and counter battery fire is not really their thing. Actually, we'll use the 3-inch ordnance rifles for that. We'll let the 12-pounder Napoleons continue to just do their thing. I gotta wait until they get their orders. Fire at will. We'll use the 3-inch ordnance because that's rifled artillery. It's a lot more accurate. We'll give them the counter battery fire orders. And then we got some more 12-pounder Napoleons coming into their left. Okay. He's got a lot of units, even though the manpower is about the same. Our units are just bigger, I guess. Alright, these two brigades are going to come in right in here on his right flank. Now Bowen's got the mixed musket, so he doesn't really have the range. But Rhett's Lone Star Brigade should have a little more range. Too bad they don't have Mississippi rifles, because this would be the perfect place for them, because they've got that nice 500-yard effective range. But the Enfields will work for now. Come on, finish what you're doing. I think I messed them up because I gave them new orders before they got into place. Alright, how are we doing over here? Determined, that's good. Alright, we've caused 49 casualties already on this artillery, that's good. Between the men that are firing on them and the artillery that are firing on them, hopefully we can drive off. He doesn't have a lot of guns. I think that might be his only artillery. Let's take a look. Yeah, he's only got 5 guns left. So we drive them off and he has no artillery. Come on, Lone Star Brigade, get in there. Okay, the artillery's been driven off. Perfect. So now let's tell the 3-inch ordnance, fire at will. I think these guys probably need to get up on top of the hill so they can fire. There we go. Oh, he does have another battery right here. Or he just sent men to take control of those guns is what he did. Alright, Lone Star Brigade, what are we waiting on here, boys? Get into position. I need you there on that side. Oh, now they've gotten all screwed up because he started moving toward me. Okay. Nope, face these guys, please. Forget them. Here he comes across the river. He's going to try and hit my right flank. Three-inch ordnance isn't firing. Come on, find a target and start hitting them. Move these guys down a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Alright, there we go. Lone Star Brigade's moving forward now. They're going to come up right on that fence. I'd like these guys to stay behind this one. Alright, let's see. First Montero rifles look good. French Zouaves look like they're in good shape. Weeds Tigers are okay. Rock City Guards, everybody's good right now. Let's get Forrest in here. We need to get him helping on this. Bring his men up. He's got cavalry of his own that are sitting up here over on the right side not doing anything. Yeah, I'm a little nervous for the left side of my line just because of how much they're getting hit at the moment. See how the numbers look so far. Alright, pretty good, pretty good. Real good, actually. We're gonna run out of daylight soon, though. We're not firing again with these guns. Maybe if we get them up on top of this hill. Forrest is firing now. Let's bring the Lone Star Brigade forward. Bowen's lost a lot of men. We need to get him some support. That's why we're bringing the Lone Star Brigade up. Alright, looks like his unit that was attacking the Montero rifles has broken. Everybody else is in pretty good shape. Real good shape. Wheat's Tigers have an upgrade. I'm going to give them the sharpshooter upgrade because they're kind of firing at a distance, and I would like to be able to continue leveling that up. While they're firing at max range, they're going to level that up. All of these perks level up based on using a particular skill that fits with that. I don't know exactly what all those are. You know, I don't know what exactly happens to allow Iron Discipline, for example, to level up, but I do know that, you know, you level the sharpshooter one up by firing from a distance. Zouave, probably by moving them around on the battlefield. The Spirited Charge you probably gain by making charges. These guys have volley. Man, Bowen's Brigade's just getting lit up. But because of that, they're leveling up their Iron Discipline skill. Let's bring Forrest forward. Now this is going to be interesting because this will be our first chance to see how the new retreat mechanic works. If and when he gets to the place where he wants to withdraw. It's just not going to end the battle instantly anymore. Throw some skirmishers forward, but another one of his units is broken. He's doing pretty well. Doing real well. Not taking a lot of casualties. Not in most of my units, anyway. Bowen's been taking the brunt of them. He's taken 1,000 casualties. That's crazy. This is probably the longest sustained battle I've had where we're just shooting at each other and very little changes. Neither side's really breaking, though we're certainly racking up the casualties on the Union side. He now has 2,500 fewer men than I do. I've only lost 57 killed. I'm not entirely sure how it is that Bowen's lost 1,000 men. We're taking a lot of wounded, but not a lot of killed, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. How could Bowen have lost 1,000 men, but we only had 57 killed? I'm honestly surprised he hasn't broken yet as an army. And I'm also surprised he isn't using his cavalry. He can come over here and hit my right flank with that cavalry, but he's not using them. I wonder if we pull these guns back a little bit, we'll be able to fire with them. Starting to see some of his men withdraw now. I imagine we'll see the whole army do that soon. Yeah, he's down to just 12,000 men. He'll probably withdraw when it hits nightfall. Yep, he's pulling back. I think he's seen enough. Yeah, here we go. Our commanders report the enemy seems to be retreating from the field. Try to push on within the given time. So 41 minutes you have then to press the attack. Before he's able to successfully withdraw from the field, but I think we're just going to go ahead and let him do it. Alright, well, for the first time in quite a while, I had a crash. Right as the enemy was retreating at the end of that battle, it crashed. And so then basically I had to restart the game, and I lost everything that happened in that battle. It still fought the battle, but it fought the battle as an auto-resolve between him and just my Army of the Mississippi headquarters there. So with that in mind, it looks like this corps did get involved in that, the 3rd Corps under Breckinridge. So now they're going to retreat because when I auto-resolved it, it made it a Union victory. So just kind of the way it goes sometimes. We'll recover from that. Not a huge deal. First crash I've had probably in several weeks. All right, this is interesting. Slavery prohibited in the territories. U.S. Congress to regulate slavery. Popular sovereignty rejected. The idea of popular sovereignty was the notion that whenever a new territory joins the Union, it should get to vote and decide for itself whether or not it wants slavery, even if that's a territory that enters somewhere in the north. So that was a doctrine that a lot of folks like Stephen A. Douglas, for example, supported. So on this day, Congress has prohibited slavery in all current and future United States territories. President Lincoln quickly signed the legislation, even though it does not restrict slavery in the states. By this act, Congress and the President have repudiated the 1857 opinion of the Supreme Court of the United States in the Dred Scott decision, which stated that Congress is powerless to regulate slavery in the U.S. territories. All right, so that's interesting, and we'll see what kind of an impact that has on things like morale and support in the states. Looks like he's recruited some new troops. He's up to 531,000. That Navy tonnage is just absurd. It seems like no matter which side I play, the AI builds up his Navy like crazy. The Confederates did the same thing. They spent more time investing in their Navy than they did in their Army when I played as the Union. Okay, 1st Corps of the Army of Mississippi is in contact with the Army of the Ohio. Yeah, let's play that one. So we're going to start out exactly even in numbers, 18,000 on each side, just like the last battle. The difference is I've got reinforcements on the way. Let's see how quickly they're going to arrive. 6 hours, we're going to get the Army of the West with an additional 20,000 plus troops. So it really probably behooves me to just kind of sit tight until we get those additional troops. All right, we're in position, and we're just going to basically hold tight until my other army arrives. And then when the other army arrives, we're going to use them to kind of swing around and offer a flanking attack. But we're going to sit tight here and just see if he comes at me across the creek. Well, I thought for sure he was just going to sit back, but it looks like he's going to come at me before my army arrives. My army is going to arrive within the hour, but we're going to be well engaged by the time that happens. Everybody's ready. We got the 5th Kentucky Mounted Infantry here. Johnson's brigade here. Ruhr Valley Brigade over here. Then up on this side, Lindsey's brigade, which is kind of small. And then these are DK's cowboys here. We'll just wait and see what he does. And we'll be watching for that notification that our armies arrived, the Army of the West. Let's get the Shelby Foot Brigade engaging these skirmishers. Shelby Foot Brigade should be getting their upgrade here in just a minute. There we go. Let's give them sharpshooters. I'm actually going to upgrade them to the Mississippi rifle after this battle, if I remember. Is he going to come at me over here? He is. That's my weak spot, so that's actually really smart. I'm going to shift the Ruhr Valley Brigade over here to help them. Alright, DK's Cowboys, you can do this. You get 10 rounds per minute, so they ought to be able to hold them off for a little while. Now we should be getting our reinforcements. Where are they? Let's look at the condition report. No, not the Union. Arriving 0 hours. That should be any minute now. Come on, boys. Get on the field. Units of skirmishers firing on Lindsay. He's going to lose a lot of men. Move the Ruhr Valley Brigade forward to help engage them. Additional men forward. Some brigades way out there too. Let's see what he's doing here. It looks like he's shifting over this way. Napoleon's up. Alright, he's coming across over here. DK's Cowboys about to get their perk and they just got it. We'll give him the expert scout. What is he doing? He's marching right past me. Oh, he broke, that's why. Okay. Headquarters there. Yeah, this is a little worrisome over here. He's loading up pretty heavy. Throw Stewart down a little closer. I'm going to shift the Shelby Foot Brigade a little bit this way. Where is the Army of the West? Should be here by now. Of course, it's going to take them some time to get on the field anyway when they do arrive. In the meantime, I think we're okay. Yeah, big advantage. I think just with the men I have, I should be able to win. He's pulling back. Oh, he's going to send those guys across. He charged a unit right across the bridge and into my brigade there, but I think the Army of the West has arrived. Where are they coming in from? Oh, those are, yeah, they're coming in from over here. Okay. Well, that's some good news there. We're going to need to give them time to get fully invested. But when they do, I'm going to bring them forward. That's only a part of them here so far. I can't believe Gibson charged right across that bridge. And wasn't expecting that. And then they got this flank turned around. Yeah, he's falling back now. Enemy's retreating. Okay. Where's he going to retreat to? I'm behind him. Let's hope this doesn't cause another crash. Alright, now we've got most of the Army of the West on scene. But I don't think we're going to get a chance to use him. He understands he's in a no-win situation at this point. So he's going to withdraw. So I guess he doesn't have to withdraw to the withdrawal point. He just has to hit the retreat button and then wait for the timer. Lindsay's low on ammunition. Not surprised there. All right. There's another victory, and that smashes the Army of the West under Don Carlos Buell. I feel like the battle really is now in the east. So we'll take a look and see how this one turned out, and then we'll wrap this episode up. Due to his battle honors, Colonel Scales has become famous and an inspiration for his men. And there's your information about the replacements, as I've mentioned on the videos before. Replacements will always be green, and their arrival will lower the unit's experience and training. And they come from the home state, and the distance to the home state affects the speed of this. So that's all stuff we'll cover in future tutorials. Now that we've got a new update, I will be doing another tutorial, this time probably on the tactical battles, just to kind of talk through some of those things. A lot of you have been asking for that. But as soon as we see, I just want to see what unit was Scales that got the battle honors from that one. And just kind of see where things stand after that. So let's take a look. That was not Army of Northern Virginia. That's going to be Army of Mississippi. So here's Scales right here. That was the Ruhr Valley Brigade. So they got the honors for that particular fight. He's not a real great general, though. I feel like we could probably do better for the Ruhr Valley Brigade than them. And we've got a lot of available men. Juba Early's better. Field's not bad. That's Henry Heath there. He's not great. Honestly surprised some of these guys aren't a little better. Oh, Fitzhugh Lee. Hey, let's go with him. Although he's better suited for cavalry, so maybe not. Maybe we'll save him for one of the cavalry units. Stephen Dilley's not bad. Let's go with him. All right, we're going to wrap it up right there. Let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below. We'll be back in a couple of days with another episode on this campaign. We'll also be doing some more tutorials. So watch for those as well. Thanks for watching.